You've been in there with Spence and obviously Crawford. Who's the best fighter out of those two? Who's the king of the welterweights, do you think?
I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now, but styles make fights, obviously. Spence is a natural southpaw, He'll still be very interested. Everyone is still tuning in, but I think just with the way he dealt with Porter, I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford just because of Spence's car crashes. He had a problem with retina in his eyes. I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford when you're in that fight.
Right, and who's the biggest puncher out of Spence and Crawford? You've been in there with both.
I'd say Spence.
Spence?
Yeah. I'd say Spence.
How does he do with Spence?
I think he's gonna do good, I think. But Spence is hard, he comes forward, he's smart. But Crawford, he boxes, he could be a lefty too, he could be a righty, he boxes around. I think he's gonna give him a lot of trouble. And not just because I know Crawford and his mom, his pops are really nice guys. I fought in one of his shows over there in Nebraska, I think.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. And his mom, his dad, they all show me mad love. And they're really nice people, bro. But I think Crawford he's amazing, bro. He's amazing.
Who do you think will win the upcoming fight? Well, supposed upcoming fight between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. I know you're focused on Canelo, but could you tell us who you think is going to win that one?
Я думаю, что выиграет бизнес-сторона, то есть промоутеры выиграют с этого всего, и люди наслаждятся этим боем. То есть эти бои обязаны, должны быть, я надеюсь, что они случатся, так же, как и наш бой с Камеом. То есть тяжело сказать, кто из них выиграет. То есть мы оба выиграли. То есть мы, поверьте, любой исход, то есть мы останемся выигрышными. Если мы останемся живы и здоровы, мы останемся выигрышными. То есть я считаю, что это немножко по-другому. Люди заслуживают такие бои, их надо проводить. Я думаю, что выиграют только зрители.
I believe that boxing fans will win, definitely, and promoters too. Though fights like this need to happen. It's for the love of boxing, and if you take our fight, both of us will win. If we don't get hurt, if we stay healthy, we both win, and of course the fans will win. It's for the fans.
Gennady, I can't let you go like that. I can't let you go like that.
Come on, man. That's me, I know.
Like you don't have to pick a winner, but just who would you lean towards in that fight? I mean, you would know who would you lean towards?
Both are great fighters.
Both, just I respect both.
Exactly. But Crawford by far is the better finisher when it comes to hurting somebody. But both guys have an equal opportunity to win. But who you gonna give the edge to? You give the edge to Crawford because he's the better finisher. When he's looking to hurt you, he's looking to destroy you. But both fighters are good.
I know exactly who wins. I respect both. For me, more close style, like Crawford style. Just I'm a little bit like not like Crawford size, just I like more his style. Like close to me, like
closer
me, like,
to my heart.
To my heart, like great, both great. Just sometimes
It's really hard to choose. Got you. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
I think it's a great fight. 50-50 fight. Like I said before in other interviews, both guys are skilled, both guys are hungry, both guys want that win. I think it's gonna be a lot of momentum changes in that fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight. Both guys really want it. So I think it's kind of gonna be both guys are gonna try to box and fight a disciplined fight, but I think there's gonna be some exchanges in that fight, heavy exchanges.
Yeah, I wanted you to elaborate on that real quick because I think as I look at it, and I think so as some of the boxing fans look at it, Terrence Crawford is a real savage. He's got that, hellacious, attitude, and he really is one of the greatest finishers in the sport. Talk about Errol Spence's savageness, though. You've seen that in the ring. How much of a badass is he when he's in there and the fists are flying?
Yeah, he's mentally strong, and he's one of those type of fighters you got to be in your best shape because he fights the same. He comes out every round and throws 100 punches straight through. So if you're not in shape for that, then he's going to break you down and knock you out like he's done to a lot of his opponents. But you know, I'm a top fighter too, so I know what it takes. I'm mentally strong. I'm just like him. So we're both in there and banging it out, you know. And but like in Terrence Crawford, like you said, he has that mean attitude.
Yeah.
Like someone stole something from his mom. Like he carries that attitude. And he's hungry. Like he really loves history. He really wants to be unified again in another weight class. So it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a battle.
In a Crawford and Spence fight.
Crawford reminds me of me, bro. So I'm pretty sure you know how I feel about that. Ain't nobody else gonna say that, but I'm gonna say it. The way he approached that shit, he don't see none of them guys. He don't care nothing about none of them guys. He got that real dog in him. That's why I say he reminds me of me. You feel me? And I just think the man can do so much in the ring. I see what Charlo can do. I see what what's the other guy? Spence can do. I see what Spence can do. But Spence hasn't shown me that he can make a lot of adjustment. When I look at Spence style, I see the same thing, aggressive, boxer. But I ain't never seen him boxing going back. I ain't never seen him use his counter-punching ability. I ain't never seen him block, make a motherfucker miss, and make a motherfucker pay. It's levels to this, but these guys, I mean, you know, when you're looking at it through my eye, this is a different type of understanding of the game. You feel me? So I can critique those guys. I don't care who they is. I can critique their ass.
Do you think it'll be a stoppage?
I don't know. I'm just telling you, I believe Crawford has ability to do more things in the ring. I've seen him do more things in the ring. I've seen him fight ambidextrous. I've seen him knock motherfuckers out with both hands. I've seen him fight. I've seen him box. I've seen him counterpunch. I've seen him do a lot of things in the ring. When I see Errol Spence fights, I don't see a lot of that. I see a lot of the same thing, the same approach, the way he knocked my boy out in England. Same thing, aggressive, body pop, same way he fighting, bro. And when you fight a guy like Bud Crawford, you're gonna have to have a lot of different things to your game.
Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence. Boom. Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence. That white shirt, black hat.
Nah, everybody been giving me heat for this. Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. He's the best walkaway in the world. But everybody gets to me, oh, he ain't for nobody. Look at his resume. Compared to Errol Spence. Errol Spence, good fighter. But he's looking at that now.
Do you love his counter punching, James? From Terrence? Do you feel like that's the difference? Is the counter punching?
He reminds me of me a little bit.
All right, so who you got in that one, man?
Who I got in that fight?
Yep.
Y'all really want to know?
Definitely.
Man, I got Earl. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got Earl. I think Terrence, honestly, is a better boxer. I think he's a better, well-rounded boxer. But Terrence is defensively irresponsible. He gets hit a lot. He clearly gets hurt by fighting smaller guys. I think Earl is much more of a responsible defensive fighter. I think he's a stronger fighter. He's the bigger, stronger fighter. He's gonna bring a bigger punch. I think come about 7, 8, 9, he gonna start walking Terrence ass down like Jason, dropping them dumbbells on his ass. He gonna fuck around and probably catch him in one of these corners. You know what I'm saying? Dropping them dumbbells on his ass. So I don't know.
So and just one last thing for me.
I can say this. If Terrence is in 15-round boxing shape, the same thing that I said when Caleb fought Canelo. If he was in 15-round boxing shape, he had a chance at winning. I think if Terrence is in 15-round shape, I think he'll be able to stay away from Earl, box, steal the rounds, you know, and stuff like that. I don't think he'll go out there and take this fight at all.
Crawford versus Spence.
Let's do it.
I know your team Crawford.
No. Look. In the past, I'm not gonna lie. I blow up Crawford. I'm gonna be honest with you. Crawford's my guy. That's my guy. But to be honest with you, this is a 50-50 fight. It honestly is, and I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of guys say that, oh, I go Crawford, they don't give you no contest, man. I'm I'm gonna give you context right now. It's 50-50. And the reason why it's 50-50 is because you have the basic fundamentally sound fighter in the world, to me, is Earl Spence Jr. You know, basic as hell, and see, something about the basics is hard to break through that, bro. It's so solid and he's so effective and so efficient with it. With the jab coming down the middle, the straight left hand following behind it, setting them everything off his jab, controlling that space and distance between them, killing the body on the inside, vicious body attack. So a lot of guys are saying that Spence is gonna win it because of the jab and the body shots. But what happens when you have a guy that's not gonna stand there and take those body punches? A guy that can actually dish, you know, those body shots as well. You have Crawford that likes to move. I don't care about the switching stuff. He likes to move. He likes to pick up his feet, go to different locations and set traps for his opponents and catching them as they're throwing at the same time. Spence sometimes lunges forward. Spence sometimes take more risks than he needs to. We seen Spence hurt in the last fight. Crawford got some devastating punching power, my dude. Devastating punching power. And you're gonna have two southpaws, because I believe Crawford gonna fight him in the southpaw stance, man. For some reason, I just think he's gonna fight him in the southpaw stance. He's not gonna be right-handed all that often. If he does, he's gonna switch real quick.
Is that his best stance, southpaw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that we've seen in the past, I think his best stance is the southpaw stance versus the orthodox stance. I mean, I remember seeing him against, what's his name, the one that just retired.
Jeff Horn?
Not Horn.
Oh, Sean Porter.
No, the other one. The other one. What's the other one?
Amir Khan?
No, what's the other one named? The one
Kell Brook.
Kell Brook.
Okay.
So Kell Brook, you know, when he was in the orthodox stance, he was having a difficult time dealing with the jab of Kell Brook. That jab was giving him fits. But then when he went southpaw, he was able to take that jab away. You understand? So when you in a, let's say, southpaw stance versus southpaw, you know, the jab hand is straight down the middle. It's going to be straight down the middle for Spence and straight down the middle for both guys. Just put it that way. Well, Spence, to me, has a better jab. You know, and Crawford's going to have to figure out a way to take that jab away, bro. He's going to have to figure out a way to take that jab away and counter the crap out of that jab. But ultimately, at the end of the day, let me tell you, 50-50 fight. Whoever can execute their game plan, if Spence can stay on top of Crawford with the jab, bagging him up, working his combinations, working up and down, and pressing forward without getting caught, he can win the fight. If Crawford can take all of that away from him with his movement and setting traps and luring in Spence and countering the crap out of him, using his jab, spin hooks, all that, all those things that he likes to do, he can win the fight. Whoever executes their game plan, I'm telling you right now, is going to win the fight, man. Whoever executes their game plan is going to win.
Fair point. Whoever executes their game plan is going to win. But
I'm going Crawford, because I'm saying Crawford because he does win.
You've always been saying Crawford, but I want you to tell me in what fashion do you see him winning? Stoppage, decision?
See, this is the problem. The problem that I see with Spence every now and then is that when he can't get to you, he pushes the tempo a little bit more and he starts making mistakes and lunging forward with his attack. You can't do that with Crawford. You start making mistakes and lunging forward and getting overly aggressive, he gonna time you with something. He's gonna frustrate. I think Crawford's gonna. His job is he's gonna frustrate the crap out of Spence. He's gonna get him overly aggressive and he's gonna run him into something. And that's why I say Crawford by stoppage. It's gonna be late. I say Crawford by stoppage. I'm crazy. Yeah. Everybody say, "Oh, you crazy, Tim? You crazy, Tim?" And you know, some people say like a car accident even stopped this man. You know, Spencer's different. He's built different. I get it. I understand. But you don't understand. You don't understand. Crawford is a different animal. Best fighter of this generation. He can make adjustments. He has more tools in the toolbox to be able to make adjustments against what Spence ultimately do, and that's to pressure you with volume and stay consistent behind his technique and his jab.
Granted, but is there something to be said for the level of opposition that you do fight? Because you know Spence has fought pretty much all of the top guys at 147. Crawford, not his fault, but he hasn't been able to fight those same level of guys. So is there something to be said that, hey, you think Crawford's going to win, but Spence has fought the better opposition. So does that make you kind of sway a little bit towards Spence, or are you just completely Crawford?
I mean, that could. I mean, some guys typically would say, you know, that great competition is definitely pushed the needle in Spence's favor because he's faced better competition, but they faced one guy that you know that's on both guys' resume, and that was Sean Porter. And you saw what went on with Sean Porter. So it's like, yeah, he fought better competition, but Spence didn't stop no Sean Porter. And people won't argue say, yeah, he didn't stop him. He didn't stop him. His dad stepped in and stopped the action because his dad knew exactly what was going to happen to his son. He didn't want to witness that in front of his eyes. He didn't want to witness that knockout. And you know Crawford's the best finisher in boxing, bro. Him and Inoue, two best finishers in boxing. And I'll give Tank, he ain't no joke too. Tank is up there too. So he still was able to figure out a way to deal with that pressure, isolate. He got hit less than Spence got hit in that fight against Sean Porter, and he took him out. KO, TKO. Even though Daddy stopped it, it's a TKO victory in favor of Crawford. So, with that being said, man, you do have a merit with that. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, you do have a point. It's a good point, but the guy that to me that can make the best adjustments in boxing once he figures you out, that's Crawford. That is Terrence Crawford, the best fighter of this generation.
Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Who do you give the edge to in that?
Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Oh, man, you know, I'm just saying, man, Errol Spence, man. Terrence Crawford. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think I might go with the guy that is just won too.
Spence?
Yeah.
Because he's a little bigger than Crawford, they say.
Well, I'm just saying that's what I'm just telling you. That's, you know, it's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that Earl Smith did not Earl Smith. I keep trying.
Crawford, Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, Terrence Crawford. I think Earl Spence will win. I remember seeing Earl Spence, and I think he's better. I think he's better than Crawford.
You'll probably get Crawford and Spence. Who's going to win that fight, Jeff?
That's a very, very tough fight, and I like both guys very much, and I think the fans are going to win.
That's the answer I'm getting from everybody. No, but Jeff, you know, you being a Mayweather, you don't favor Crawford, who's looked at as more of the counter puncher in the boxing?
Well, I mean, Crawford seems to have more weapons, but you know, Earl's coming back to the old Earl.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because in the beginning, I thought that Spence would win the fight easy. But then, of course, all these other things that have happened, you know, made me think differently. And I do think that Crawford, I mean, has more weapons in terms of the different ways that he can fight and the different ways that he can beat you. But at the same time, I think that Spence has showed that he can walk you down, you know, and it seems like his defense got a little better. So I don't know. I mean, realistically, I can't really pick this fight. This is one fight that I don't want to pick.
What originally made you feel Spence could win the fight easier than people think, though? What originally made you feel that way, Jeff?
Well, I mean, I just think that in the beginning, it's just that I thought Spence had showed more of himself, more of what he's capable of doing at the time. And then once Crawford started going up the weight classes, and he was still knocking people out, you know, then you had to give him his props. You know, so I can't, you know, so basically it did make it really hard for me to say, you know, that one guy can beat the other guy.
Do you think it ends in a knockout or it goes 12?
I think it's going 12. I think anytime you have two top fighters, it's rarely a knockout. Unless one guy is a real big knockout puncher. I mean, both of the guys can punch.
Yeah, they can.
But I think they both are going to fight smart enough not to get knocked out.
I know you mentioned 50-50, of course, with Crawford Spence, but why does, for example, Crawford's counterpunching not enough to just give him the edge in that fight?
Crawford's counterpunching?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Crawford probably leads more than he counterpunches, you know, because when you know you can hit somebody and you can make them do funny things, it's hard to not want to fight that way. So I don't look at Crawford just as a guy. I look at him as a dude that can do a lot of different things. And I look at Spence as a guy who can do a lot of different things. But what I'm interested in is when that fight starts and adjustments need to get made, I want to see who's making them adjustments. When they both get in deep water, because they both going to get tested in a different kind of way, I want to see the response. I'm looking for those kind of things, those deeper layer type of things. And we won't get those answers until they fight. Too close of a fight to call. They just got to get it done. I hope they get it done. I think it's a lot at stake for both guys.
Do you think that fight doesn't make it the distance when we get it?
Ooh, I never thought about that one.
I had to try and give you some.
I can't even think of that fight not going 12. So it's boxing, anything is possible, but I ain't even thought that far along. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Who has the tougher style, Crawford or Spence, to prepare for as a fighter?
I think Crawford. Crawford, because he goes supple.
Orthodox.
I think he's very difficult fighter.
What do you have to do if you were preparing for him to be successful against a fighter like that?
Just be patient. Prepare myself like always and be patient and work on the body. I think be patient is a key.
Go to that body. Don't look at the head early.
Because everybody look in the head and it's very, very difficult to hit in the head.
Crawford and Spence is probably what everyone was going to ask. I don't know keenly, but who do you have winning that fight?
Man, I love Crawford, man. Watching him develop and through top rank and being, I could consider him a friend. I have to move on. I have to go for Crawford, but Spence looked sensational in his last fight. He looked smart. He looked good. His punches were good. His power is there. So it's a tough fight, man. But I still lean towards Crawford.
What do you see in Crawford though? Like obviously some people
he's
feel
more of the like I don't know, man. To me, like I just feel like he's stronger physically.
Really?
And he's also one of those guys that mentally might be the stronger man.
So how does the style break him down coming up to fight?
It's a tough one, man. It's tough. It's tough, and I could easily be wrong.
I'm looking at it that this guy was an Olympian. This guy went to London and beat Kell Brook. This guy, this guy has done everything you've asked of him. I believe what I've seen.
I got you.
I don't think it's a mirage.
Okay, I got you.
I believe that when he wants to be relentless, he's relentless. I believe that he's a terrific body puncher. I believe that he's more than just that he's technically sound in a lot of areas. That he can switch it up, that he can be very versatile, he can counter, he can box, he can go get you.
Yeah.
I believe he can do all those things. And I believe that he believes. That's where it comes from.
That's
for
what's
me.
most important.
That he believes that he's always going to do that.
Okay.
And that's enough for me.
And you believe he'll even beat Crawford, right? I think you've said that before.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it'd be very interesting. It'd be very interesting. I love Crawford. It'd be very interesting. Crawford is, he brings a different dimension to it. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's tall and long, stepped up in weight classes, and a guy who's a winner, a guy who's dynamic, but a guy who goes about his business in a different way, where he controls range, where, he looks to set traps. But then he believes too. Crawford, that would be an intriguing fight for me, because that son of a gun, he believes too. When it gets down to it, to being a junkyard dog, man, he could bite with the best of them. Because you try to take something from him, he'll say, you know what, I like to control range, I like to be out here, I like to counter, I like to have it my way, just like you guys like to have a buffet and all things. When I hope he puts some food out for you guys.
Not so much.
Talk to him about that. Yeah, really, that ain't right. But everyone wants to have what is most comfortable for themselves. And yeah, Crawford would love to have that, but when he don't have that and he has to go the other place, he has shown you, and I've seen it, where he'll say, freak it, I'll fight you right here. I'll do whatever I got. And he's got one other thing that might even be better than what Spence has. And you didn't expect me to say that. He's got tremendous instincts. He's got, Spence has, I stand by my word. Spence is physical. He's technically solid. He's an Olympian. He's put together the right way. And he mentally has that result. He believes. But so does Crawford, but he's got an instinctual presence to him that I haven't seen with too many fighters.
Doesn't he do even some of the things the guys in the black and white did?
You know what he does?
Sorry.
He does what my mentor, who I think was I'm prejudiced. He was the greatest boxing guy ever. Customano. Said that the special ones do. He makes it up as he does it. Not too many people can do that. He's like a Louis Armstrong that can create a new tone right there on the stage with the horn that you never heard before. And that's what Crawford can do. And that's pretty damn special. And that's why I can't just close my eyes and say, hey, I favor Spence in that fight, but it'd be a fight that I would actually go to.